I know that this will be my most controversial OceanGate Titan video. Today I will give you 9 research-backed reasons why I believe the so-called leaked transcript is not fake. In my many hours of researching how the OceanGate Titan was designed and operated, there are just too many things that line up with the transcript for me to believe that it's faked. If it was faked, it was definitely an inside job from someone that knew all of the details about the actual sub. The systems used, the method of communication, emergency protocols, and terminology pertaining to the sub. So here are my 9 points for you to consider. Number 1, the first misconception about the transcript is that they did not use the format that it is in. May I present to you Sonardyne? That is what the Titan used for communication with the surface. This is a fully customizable system that used very similar formatting to the transcript that was first available online. A sonar modem was used to communicate with the surface. This is a picture taken while inside of Titan. You can clearly see the similarities. I assume that one of the control pods in the tail was partially dedicated for this system. Their website is linked in the description. Number 2, so at 9:28, Titan says they're noting an alarm from the RTM. RTM stands for Real-Time Monitoring System, which was an actual system on the sub. I detailed this system in my internal and external systems video. Basically, it was a system that monitored the health of the hull in real time using a system patented by Stockton Rush, September 2021. You can do a patent search on it if you want to learn more about it. Number 3, at 9:30, there was no change with thrust. The rate of descent was increasing, so the decision was made to release the ballast. This one is somewhat debatable, but it would require the faker to know that they had a system designed to specifically release the ballast and that it was the first actual emergency protocol. Number 4, 2 minutes later at 9:32, there's still no improvement. They say they're preparing to jettison the frame. Now on this one, Joe Schmo off the street is not going to know that there was a system to drop the frame. If they just saw the picture that shows the drop cylinder weight system and drop landing gear, I would think they would have just used those terms directly or maybe said legs. Calling the landing gear the frame is much more of an insider term. More importantly, they would have also needed to know that this was the second actual emergency protocol. A faker would have had to get both of these exactly right, which the transcript does. Number 5, approximately 3.5 minutes later at 9:35, Titan says the frame was jettisoned, but they needed multiple attempts, starting the ascent now. In a previous video, I detailed how the frame release mechanism worked, which is linked in the description below. You decide for yourself if that was a bulletproof system. This detail also lines up with the possibility that the frame might not drop without some amount of trouble. Number 6, at 9:45, Polar Prince is requesting depth and status. They're wondering what's the wattage on the upwards thrust. 9:46, Titan says they're reading red on the A power bus. Switch to the B power bus. Okay, so I have not been able to determine this positively 100%, but I'm pretty sure they had the ability to monitor power usage of the thrusters. Battery power was a limited resource. You can see in this picture that they knew details of the battery status, power usage, etc. Red on A power bus would mean that the battery is drained. This also lines up with the transcript in that they had this information available to them. It was also not uncommon for them to occasionally have problems with batteries. There was 2 of these 148-volt batteries in the tail section that were rated for 11,500 meters, each with their own power bus. I believe it's very likely that they quickly drained the batteries with 40 amps of continuous full power on the upwards thrusters. I explained some of these details in my internal and external systems video linked in the description below. So number 7, at 9:47, Polar Prince says, understood, continue to ascend. We're talking to Carlos about the power bus situation right now, stand by. Carlos. He was a real person and was an electrical engineer intern at OceanGate from 2018 to August 2023. A faker would have needed to know about his existence and that he was an electrical engineer intern. Now, whether or not he was present when this dive occurred, I can't answer that. But he was a real person. 9:48, Polar Print says they're activating the recovery procedures. Carlos is requesting a wattage output from bus B. They want a status update. They're wondering about the velocity of ascent. Okay, so this is somewhat obvious, but they did have a recovery procedure protocol, and they should have had an ROV on hand in case of emergency, as OceanGate was aware of the possibility of becoming entangled somehow in the Titanic and not being able to resurface without some help. That was really the real reason for the emergency protocols of dropping the ballast and jettisoning the frame. But in this transcript, they had to do it somewhere between the surface and the Titanic, which also suggests that the RTM system really was going berserk. Number 9. Where the debris was found, in rather close proximity to the Titanic, suggests that they really were around 3,400 meters and right on target when the implosion occurred. They had gotten pretty good at dropping right on top of the Titanic from experience gained on previous expeditions. They were almost all the way there in only 90 minutes instead of the usual 2.5 hours. That would also line up with the transcript. That doesn't conclusively prove what depth they were at, but if the implosion occurred much higher up, the debris field would have been much larger. So, is the transcript a fake? You decide for yourself. The point of this video is not to prove to you that the transcript is not fake, but to make you think about it seriously. Chances are that if you were in the "it is a fake" camp, even with all this evidence, you will likely still stick to your belief that it is a fake. That's fine, but I have a hard time believing it's faked. If it is, like I said at the beginning, it was done by someone with a great amount of inside knowledge about the OceanGate Titan. What do you think? Do you still think it's a fake? Do you think it's real? Tell me the reasons why in the comments below. Thanks for watching.